Every spring break, my father's side of the family plans a trip together. It's sort of a strange family tradition. This year, they booked a ranch out in the country. It was surrounded by miles of forest, with no neighbors. My aunt and uncle came, and each of them brought their kids. 2 of them were around my age, Jackson and Sabrina. The rest of them were much younger. On the first night there, my family was the last one to arrive. By the time we got there, the sun was already down, and the moon was starting to come out. While we were unpacking the car, my little cousin looked at me and asked, "Who's that man in the woods?" I felt a shiver go down my spine and stared at the woods after he said that, but didn't see anyone. So I brushed it off as him seeing things and reassured him that no one was in the woods. Despite him creeping me out, I was still ecstatic to see the rest of my cousins. The first thing I noticed was how large the ranch was. It had 3 different entrances too, and none of the windows had any blinds. I usually hung out with Jackson and Sabrina the most, and we spent the first night sneaking into the woods when no one was looking. We used flashlights that we found in the house to light our way. I'm not sure what we were expecting to find, but in the distance, I could hear the sound of goats. I ran ahead of my cousins, and there was a small red barn in the distance, but I froze in place when I saw a figure inside of the barn. It was too dark for me to make out any facial features, but they were much taller than me. My cousin started calling for me, so I quickly ran the other way, back to the ranch. I told them about what I saw, including what our little cousin said when I first got here, but the 2 of them just laughed, telling me I'd watched too many scary movies. I tried my best to laugh along with them, but I still felt a sinking feeling in my stomach. When we got back, I saw that the adults were gathered around the back door. It had been broken before we got here, so they made sure to message the owner of the house so they wouldn't have to pay for it. I didn't think much of it, and decided to explore the house instead. The place that interested me the most was a large room with a big window facing out into the forest. It felt really eerie, and in the corner, there was a painting with a young boy and a baby goat. While looking at it, I could hear someone coming from behind me, but when I thought of the person from the forest, my body felt frozen again. I finally mustered up the courage to turn around and came face to face with my uncle. A sigh of relief left my lips. He told me not to touch the painting because it looked expensive. I simply nodded and watched as he left the room to go join the rest of the adults. Later on, Jackson and Sabrina left to go roast marshmallows with the rest of the family, but I refused to leave the house because of how freaked out I was over the guy in the barn. Everyone called me paranoid, but I felt better safe than sorry. So I was sitting on the couch in the room with the big window. After I laid down, I somehow ended up falling asleep. When I woke up, the house was pitch black, but I could hear a slight tapping coming from the window. It wasn't loud enough to make me freak out, but it was loud enough to make me slowly open my eyes. The first thing I saw was a man standing outside the window with the goat head on. I quickly realized the tapping was him using a bloody butcher knife to knock on the window. Out of fear, I screamed as loud as I could, wishing anyone would hear me. Then I realized I was the only one inside the house, and that the rest of my family were out somewhere in the woods roasting marshmallows. At least the doors are locked, I thought to myself as I reached for the doorknob. Thankfully, the front door didn't budge, and he disappeared from my sight. The sound of a door slowly creaking open filled the house. And I remembered. Something had broken the back door before we got here. As soon as I realized he could come inside, I got up and ran out the front door into the opposite side of the forest. In the distance, I could see smoke coming from the woods. I quickly put two and two together and knew it must have been my family out there making s'mores. So I ran in that direction and didn't look back, in fear that I would see the guy with the goat head following me. When I approached the fire, it smelled more like meat than chocolate. That's when I realized what the smoke was actually coming from. Instead of seeing the sight of my family roasting s'mores, I saw various body parts spread out on sticks around the fire. I noticed Sabrina's bracelet on one of the arms, and I felt a similar, sinking feeling in my stomach. While I was distracted, I felt a huge hand on my shoulder. The last thing I saw was the man's desperate eyes through his goat mask. Thank you for watching. I hope all of you have a good spring break, and please be safe.